welcome back to The Best Joker. This week we tackle the animated adaptation of one of my least favourite comic book story arcs. Disclaimer, let's get this out of the way. I don't like Jason Todd. He should have stayed dead. He was more interesting when he was a dead Robin. However, I do quite admire what they did with the Under the Hood adaptation Under the Red Hood, and of course it means we get another excellent Joker. So without further ado, this week it's the turn of John DiMaggio from Batman Under the Red Hood.
So, let's try and clear this up, okay, Pumpkin?
Performance, no points. Now let's get one thing perfectly clear. I love John DiMaggio. Bender, Aquaman, Jake, hello. This guy's one of my all-time favourite voice performers. And yes, this Joker does suit this particular DC animated original movie perfectly. However, I do get the feeling, whenever I watch this, that no risk was taken. Sure, he's cold and a wee bit gleeful when beating Jason Todd to death in the flashback opening, and then delighted to see Bat show up at Arkham. Heck, he's clearly revelling in seeing the former Boy Wonder and the Dark Knight beating the living crap out of each other in the film's finale. But for me, John's Mr. J is, well, he's a bit too cool. This was a post-Heath Ledger world, and you get the sense that the animated originals team over at DC and Warner wanted to harness some of that incarnation's personality and make this Joker less Clown Prince of Crime and more ex-soldier in war paint. This Joker suffers because of that, because you never feel that you're watching a crazed clown, but instead the crazed clown's slick older brother. Give John another shot with a more chaotic version of the clown and he would shine. Here, alas, he doesn't. Story time. 1 point. I had to think about this one, as Under the Red Hood's focus is solely on Bruce's grievance over Jason's death, and then the shock and hope that comes with finding him alive and fighting years later. It's a tale of the father who let down his son and paid the ultimate price, only for his mistakes to come back and tear his life apart. Add to that a crime war with the Black Mask, and Joker fades into the background a bit. Until you realise everything happens because of the Joker. Joker's the one to take Robin's life at the beginning. Joker is the one who Black Masks enlists to help him restore power. And, ultimately, Batman chooses to save the Joker's life when he's given the choice by Jason. Without Mr. J, there would be no Red Hood to speak of. So as in and out of the movie as he is, there is no film without him. Laugh factor, 1 point. He just gets it, you know? His laugh is joyous and elated like Hamill's, but dry and raspy like Nicholson's all at the same time. When his Joker breaks into a laugh, you know about it, because you're either shivering or laughing along with him. Era appropriate, no points. The world was revelling in a darker night at this point, but even so, diehards were desperate to see a psychotic clown once again call himself the Joker. Plus, most things that tried to be closer to the Dark Knight's Joker tended to sit in his shadow around the time. Though his performance wasn't faulted, John's Joker wasn't, and still isn't, celebrated that much. Legacy, no points. As is the case with the DC animated original movies at the moment, and back then, they're here and then they're gone. The only buzz about them usually is around the fortnight of release, and even then, unless they're on Netflix, they're largely forgotten about. That's not to say the quality is bad. Every one of them is incredibly well executed and reminds the world why hand-drawn animation will always be better than the CGI stuff. But adapting big stories from the funny books will always leave you with a split audience reaction. Some love them and can't believe their favourite tales are up on the big screen, and some hate how a story gets preened and pruned to fit into, or be stretched out to, 90 minutes and loses a lot of substance along the way. I'm in this weird in-between place myself, and as such I look fondly at DiMaggio's portrayal of Mr. J, but he's not in my personal top 3. Perhaps one day the world will want to revisit the Ledger era once more and feast on a more grounded banquet. Then John may have his cake and eat it. But until then, his legacy as a crass alcoholic robot or a shape-shifting yellow dog remain intact. Dude's got enough legacy elsewhere, I'm sure he's not going to be smarting from this. Total, 2 out of 5.
It only hurts when I laugh.
DiMaggio didn't make it to the top, but all in all, his incarnation is worth a look-see if you haven't given it a glance before. And also, if he's your favourite Joker, don't forget to thumbs up the video. Next time, we delve into the realms of what might be, as a pale-skinned man sits within an asylum rec room, watching the news as a pointy-eared, winged creature from his past emerges for the first time in decades. All together now?
Batman, darling.